Hello everyone, this is Akash Chauhan, and in today's lecture we will focus on function templates in C++. In our earlier lectures, we have covered input-output manipulators and basic file operations. But in today's lecture, our focus will be on function templates in C++. Okay, so without any further ado, let me come to that part. Okay, so what is function template? When you want to create one function for any kind of data types, okay, it would be more generic type. Let's say if you want to pass integer, sometime you want to pass float, double, okay. So in that case, would you prefer to create different functions? Because you have to define, you have to give the definition for each and every function. If you are trying to call for different data type functions, okay, and it will also be wouldn't be the same if you want to return different kind of data types. So in that case, you would be creating different functions even though you have returned the same logic inside the function, okay. But for different data types, if the logic is same, then generic templates or creating a template function would be the best choice, okay. C++ provides a, a, a facility, or I would say there is a way to create a generic or a template function in which you can pass any sort of data types when you are having a similar type of logic inside the function, okay. So how to create function template? By using the template keyword, okay. Then you have to use this, either the class or the type name. uh, they both behave in the same way. You can use, I generally prefer to use type name, and then you have to use the identifier, and then I will declare the function or define a function. Probably at this point of time you would be thinking, okay, what is that and how to create it. So let me come to an example, okay. But uh, till this point you must be clear about one thing, that we are interested in creating a generic function, okay, a generic function that can be used for different data types, okay. The same function should work for integer, float, or long, okay, or any data type which is applicable for the same logic, okay. So you only have to create one function for many different data types. That is our job, or that is our motive behind using function template. And what would be the benefit when we are using function template? The code would become more manageable and different. When you have to make only one function out of 10 function, definitely your code would be more manageable and efficient, okay. You have to use two keywords like template and the type name. Two keywords are required to create function templates, okay. You will get a very clear picture when I will be discussing the a particular example related to function templates, okay. So let me come to that, okay. So to create a function template, you have to use template, okay. That is what I have written over here, okay. uh, type name, or you can use simply class, anything you like, okay. So let's solve it by using type name. What is t over here? So we are saying t is, this template has decided, okay, has decided t would be considered as a generic type. Type name means this t would be considered later on over here as a generic type. If you simply write t, it means, if you change this, it means the small t in the further declaration or the definition will be considered as a generic type. So I have used capital T later on, like over here and here and here also. That's why I have to declare this type in the template. So this is how you create a template. And here it is the simple way how you create a function. So here t is used in a place of return type, right? So as t is a generic type, so I have used t at return type. These are the input parameter of a function, and I have also not declared the type of x and y. I'm saying it is also generic type, like I have decided in my template. while creating my template. So let's explore. The function is saying which is max. So it will compare somehow x and y and will return whichever would be the max. Okay, but we don't know till this point whether x and y are integer, float, or even x is integer or y is float, or which one is this t as a return type. It can be anything. Okay, so you, when you are creating template functions, you don't need to decide these types, the return type or the type of your parameters during the declaration or your definition of the function template. But when you will be calling these functions, then you can decide, okay, I want this x, this y would be integer, and this t would be float. Okay, I can do that. Okay, so while I'll be calling, there is a way to call such type of template function in a particular way. Okay, so let's focus on this part only at this point of time. Let me erase these. So it is saying I'm calling which max function, and here you have to decide this type. Okay, this is the template type. You are saying you have used t as an integer, right? You have used as a t as an integer, so you have decided this template type. So you are using this t where? Here, over here, and you are passing 1 and 2 as a parameter in this template function, and here t is a generic type. So you saying whatever you will pass, I will consider those as it is. So I will consider 1 and 2, x and y will be integer. So in that case, if this is the case, then by default t would become integer and these x and y would also become integer. So if I run this code over here, it will simply print 2. It will return, because this function will return 2, and this will print 2. Okay, because 2 is max in 1 and 2. So, and what I have erased, let's look at that as well. In that case, in the second case, what I am saying, the generic type would be float, the first parameter would be float, but the second would be integer. So I'm saying t, whatever the type you have taken of this template, would you should consider as a float. So this would be float. It should return the float. Okay, and x, here x would be integer and y would be sorry, x would be float and y would be integer. Okay, so if I execute this statement, so let me comment this one. So this, the greater value is 2, so this should return 2, even though this is float, this is also float. Okay, the value is float, but the greater value is 2, so it will typecast this value into integer, because it will not return the float, because 2 is the integer value. If you add up float with the integer, it will return the integer, right? So let me execute that and let's see what will be the output. So it is returning simply 2, because 2 is an integer in 1.1 and 1.2. So this conditional operator would do, if x is greater than y, then return x, and if it is false, then return y. So in that case, y would be true, so this would return 2. Okay, this is about the first statement and second statement. Let's see if the return type of the function we have decided as a float, and the parameters would also be float. But before that, let me make it 0. Okay, and let's execute it. And what it would return? It would return 1.1, because 1.1 is greater than 0. In that case, it would not typecast and will return the float. The answer would be 1.1, I guess. It is 1.1. So let's focus on the third case. So in the third case, the first input parameter is float, second input parameter is also float, and the return type is also float, and the greater value is 2.1. So if I execute it, the answer would be 2, integer, 1.1, and 2.1. Okay, so let me execute that. It is the output. So this is how you create a function template. So what is the benefit? You have not decided any type over here during the template creation, the function template creation. You are deciding what you want to pass at the time of calling. Okay, even the return type you can decide during the call, not during the function declaration or the definition. So guys, this is about your template function. The very important thing about this template function is you can also use the class over here and it will work in the same fashion we have seen. Okay, so it is same. So either you can use class over here or you can use type name like this, type name identifier. So this identifier should become the generic type. Okay, like this over here, and you can decide all these parameters and return type during the function call. This is actually a function call, right? This is the function definition. So guys, this is all about function templates, and if you have any doubt you can comment down below. Okay, and thank you so much guys for today's lecture.